This is our first episode.
3, 2, 1, E2 performance.
Welcome to the new and improved
Oh, there you go. Cool.
E2 Performance Podcast.
Oh, this is our Coaches Lounge episode.
What's with the name change?
What's with the name change?
What's with the name change? It was random, but it was perfect timing. I'm not sure if everyone knows about it. I didn't even know about it until you told me that night.
Oh, the anniversary?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess to clarify that, we plan on doing 2 episodes a week going forward. We're going to release an episode on Monday that's topic-based, and then on Wednesdays, we're always going to release a Coaches Lounge. What we want the Coaches Lounge to be is Eljay and I talking about our lives, talking about what we want to talk about, and we'll also be potentially even digging into real-world events just for the hell of it, just to get our mindset on it. So I might hit the news and I might tell Eljay something about the news and just get his feedback or his thoughts on it. With the name change, we really struggled.
What a coincidence.
Yeah. So we changed the name right on our 1-year anniversary when we paid our podcast hosting site to actually release our podcast.
Without knowing it.
Yeah, we changed the name on the exact same day. The reason why I at least wanted to do the name change was when we hosted Beyond Movement, we were very rushed trying to find a name. We were super excited to get a podcast rolling, and we couldn't think of a name that we wanted. And every name nowadays, every company is already taken. It's already branded. There's already 1,000 companies out there. Nothing is unique per se. So we took Beyond Movement with B3 kind of trying to be different about it. The struggle with that, though, is when we want to tell people about it or tell their friends about it. When you go to search it and you're like, oh yeah, it's Beyond Movement, except it's spelled with a 3. That can be confusing for some people, and it's harder to find, it's harder to search for. So we were exploring new ideas to kind of get a new brand that might be easier for people to find, something that we both still enjoyed and got us hyped up. We came up with E2 Performance because Eric and Eljay, so 2. We really wanted to do it like E squared with a small 2. And that's how we're probably going to brand things going forward for anything that we pump out. But
the way you search it in our, like anywhere, though, it'll be an E2, regular 2, E2 Performance.
To type a squared 2, like a small 2, is so weird to do on your keyboard. So that's kind of why I wanted to change the brand. It's just more ease of access for people to find.
Yeah.
So
E2 Performance.
Yeah, we changed.
I like the performance a lot.
Yeah, we changed it really randomly on our anniversary. I didn't find that out until I was almost done changing everything, which was super brutal to change it. For anybody who wants to actually host a podcast or has dreams or ambitions of hosting a podcast, try to get it right done the first time, because to change the name, you have to almost like change your email, change your YouTube, change your Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, everything. There's so like such layers of complexity to actually get it done. It took me like a full night and it was painful, but I'm glad it's done.
I'm glad it's done.
Yeah, what did you do?
I thought about it. I was thinking about you know, how hard this guy's working right now.
Did you send me some vibes?
I did.
So we are now E2 Performance. The idea with that is obviously it's just not health and fitness related, but you know, like we talk I think a lot of the topics we talk about, often we can translate them to exercise, but often it's also just like mindset performance and lifestyle performance as well.
Yeah. And when we talk about performance, it's just every aspect of your life is something that you can, like if you put effort into it, it's something you can elevate, and that requires basically time, effort, and to me personally, that's just like, how do I perform on a day-to-day basis? It's basically just performance for me. So
yeah. So Coach's Lounge. Let's talk about Donald Trump and about,
he wants to open the border.
Does he? I didn't see that.
I think he was asking for it, or he wanted it, but I don't think our side wanted it for obvious reasons.
Okay, let's talk about our workouts before we get into any life events. Although I am curious to talk about that stuff on the road.
Yeah.
So you want to talk about your workouts first, or how you doing? How you doing?
Doing good. I've been eating a lot of ice cream. I tell you that. But workout wise, it's been good. Olympic weightlifting's been good, but I've also been trying to dial in. I've also been trying to dial in conditioning work, like just steady conditioning work. I want to be able to run. Yesterday, I kind of mixed it up a little bit since I still have access to like rowers, air bikes, ski erg, like all this stuff in the gym. So kind of utilize that, but no, it's been mixed up. There's to be honest, there's really no plan. Like I'm not following any program. I'm not following a program. I go into the gym and it's like I try and feel like my body, like what's achy, what do I feel has been overused, what are the things that I feel like I want to improve on, and I kind of like create the day as I go. Obviously, that's not something that I would suggest for everyone to do because, again, depending on the level of fitness, most people will go towards things that they enjoy doing or are really good at already.
Yeah, we've talked about that being a much more advanced style of training.
Yeah.
Again, most people, like you said, just to beat a dead horse, they'll always try to lean towards what they enjoy and what they're good at. And typically what you're good at is what you enjoy. Like, I think we've talked about that on podcasts too, but it's like, oh, like you hate doing pull-ups. So, I hate pull-ups. It's like,
because you're bad at it.
What if you were really good at them, though? What if you could pop out 20, no problem?
Yeah.
Like, I can pop out 20 pull-ups, so I don't hate them because I'm good at them.
Yeah.
It was like even squats. Like I say, squat is my worst lift. I hate squats. But what if I was really good at squatting?
You probably enjoy it.
I would love it, right? So
that goes with sports too, or like learning new stuff, right? Like depending on the interest level. Like for me, basketball, I'd play that all. If I had an access to a basketball court every day, I'd probably shoot hoops every day.
I don't know. You did hoops every day as Leonard.
Yeah, it was a 9-foot net with like. Anyways,
it
wasn't standard. It was fun though when I did it, but
yeah. Well,
how's your training going?
It's very consistent. I'm still like following my program. I'm still working with a coach right now. And aside from these times, to me, working with that coach is my priority. Just in the fact that it keeps me accountable, and I don't feel like I'm in a position to do what you're doing, or I don't have the discipline to do what you're doing, where it's just doing a daily body scan. You know what I mean? Because I'm definitely the type of person where I would lean towards the things that I really want to do, or the things that I really love. And like, so my coach has me doing things like staggered stance, good mornings, and things like that. A lot of single leg work that I probably wouldn't do by myself. So the workouts this week have been pretty good. I got crushed yesterday, which I told you off call, which was super demoralizing. But it's my own fault. I read the program incorrectly. Like my coach programmed me 100% of my squat to do it for 3 reps. And I was like, holy shit. Like I could think, like my mind was trying to assume that it was like an overload phase where it was like, oh, it's time to overload and really, really push hard on these squats, like 100% of my rep for 3 reps. And I also haven't tested in a long time. So I tried to undershoot my numbers. But so I put the 100% on and it pinned me, man. I got stuck in the bottom. I ended up dumping the bar off and I felt so demoralized after. And then when I contacted my coach about it, because like that was my instant response, is like, you want me to do 3? Like, you want me to do 3 at 100%? Like, man, like it pained me and it made me feel like shit. And he's like, well, it wasn't 100% of your squat. It was supposed to be 100% of your clean and jerk, only like 70% of your squat. And then when I crunched those numbers for that, I was like, that is way more doable.
70 pounds off, 80 pounds off, or what?
Yeah, about 70 pounds off. So I felt really demoralized. That made me sad yesterday. I was pretty upset about that. But I'm supposed to work out today, but I'm going to work out tomorrow instead. I'm going to take it easy today. I'm actually sore in weird places today too,
Mhm.
but I did a lot of extra stretching yesterday. I noticed for a body scan per se, I'm trying to sit on the floor more and stretch. And sitting on the floor in like a straddle, doing like a cross bend stretch, I
Yeah.
really feel how tight my QLs are and how tight my lats are. And I think my lats are playing a big role into some problems because of like my whole
Mine's the left side when I do that same stretch, just the
yeah,
left side. A
holy it feels
little imbalance for myself.
yeah. So I almost feel like I'm sore just from stretching, like stretching all the things that were really, really tight and banged up. So
Yeah, I think like with this going on, like it's funny because normally I would schedule like a 2 hour, sometimes a 2.5 hour break for myself, which almost never happens when I'm at work,
yeah,
right? Like when we were operating regularly. But now that I put that schedule in, like an hour and a half or 2 hours, it's amazing like how much you can actually get done. And then again, sometimes without music, without anything, and just kind of like listening to your body, do movements and see like, can I actually do this movement properly and stuff. It's almost like it's never ending. There's always stuff to work on. Just
yeah.
always stuff to work on. So
Yeah, and for me, that's my flexibility, which is why I'm trying to build that habit, even if it's 15 minutes on the floor, because flexibility is limiting me in like things that I want to accomplish with my handstand and stuff like that. So just trying to get more flexible, a little more on the fly stretching, things like that. But
overall, I've been enjoying. I feel a lot. Well, I guess I came from getting hit by rhabdo and then going on a 5 week holiday and then coming back for a few weeks and then boom, all of a sudden gym's closed, right?
yeah,
But I'm starting to now I can confidently say that I'm starting to feel like myself again in the gym and working out. Like it's like there's that mindset again that if I want to push, I can push. Like there's no fear, there's nothing blocking me. Like if I want to do this, I'll get this done, whether there's anyone watching or not, someone's cheering me on or not. Like this is something that it's almost like I've always done that though, like just challenging myself, right? Like I'm trying to learn how to run again. I'm trying to practice how to run, right? Like even yesterday I did run for a bit and I was like, can I hold this pace even for a minute? I'm like, it's pretty fast. I'm not sure if I can, but how am I supposed to know if I can or can't? You know, well, I'll just put myself in this kind of pain and discomfort, and then later on, I would know if that's something that I can do.
I think for me, I've been working my way through my nutrition textbook, and one of the topics was talking about energy systems, and it really pertained to performance and things like that. And I realized like an area of opportunity for my own training is I'm often never really, really heavily out of breath or pushing like any like thresholds or pushing to failure. Everything's kind of only to like 70, 75%. Everything always feels comfortable and doable. I haven't beat myself down for a while. So I kind of gave myself a beat down probably a week and a half ago, which felt pretty good and mangled me.
Mm-hmm.
There's also that thing like I've always thought this kind of personally, and I've never really told you, but I always kind of felt like you personally, I think like you're a little bit addicted to the runner's high because a lot of the workouts you do are like kick the crap out of you. You're on the floor trying to recover.
At least once a week.
Yeah, and when I see that of you, to me, my brain thought my mindset is definitely that's a runner's high that you're chasing. Like
Mm-hmm.
when you're on the floor after you push that hard, we know that obviously there's a hormonal response to that, which I think you definitely enjoy, which is why you continue to do that. Like I think you enjoy doing the workouts and going through the motions. I think you like seeing your limits and stuff like that, but it also probably gives you a pretty nice stress relief, even if you're not that stressed. If your stress is low, medium, or high, it doesn't really matter. I think that still supplements you, whether you know it or not.
Mm-hmm.
Like, has that gone through your mind?
Yeah, it's just, and to me, with all those hormonal responses and stuff, like what I enjoy, again, even from a young age, playing basketball and being an athlete, being part of a team is like, I just enjoy kind of like testing myself almost, like putting myself to the test. Can I do this? Is my mind stronger than, like, because obviously people don't want to be in pain. It's not comfortable, right?
Yeah.
But again, there's a satisfaction of like knowing that that was like a question in my head, whether I can do that or not, whether I can hold on to that pace or not, or whether I can lift that or not, right? I'm sure there's a more scientific approach about it. I'm not saying I'm the best coach out there, but again, for me, I think I'm well above average of being in tune with my body, knowing just because I try a lot of things, you know.
Yeah.
And when I say I try a lot of things, that's not every workout. Obviously, most workouts are calculated, right? Like I know what I can do in a minute on an air bike. I know what I can, how far I can run in a minute. Like I have all those numbers in mind too, so I can strategize more. But again, there are days that you just gotta like put yourself into like a simple test and see if you're not even just mentally strong, or if you're just like physically strong, but like mentally strong as well. Because again, that's sometimes the harder aspect of it, I think.
Yeah. Well, you want to talk about COVID stuff?
I don't really know much about it, except for we had the biggest spike, I think, yesterday.
Yeah, I think that was related to a meatpacking plant or something like that.
Yeah, I think they had 30-something employees or close to 40 employees that got infected. And then obviously they go home to families or friends or roommates and stuff. But I know that was a major spike. I don't know. I'm starting to like not think about it too much anymore.
Yeah.
But obviously you don't want to be
completely out of the loop.
Absolutely, right? You still want to be informed, but I'm trying to like just filter it out now. Like I just kind of want to hear like the solutions, like the best practices, like what are the things that, we can do about it. Because again, if it's outside your control, I feel like it just adds unnecessary stress and anxiety to someone.
I think it's a relatable topic though for most people, like anybody who's listening to this or watching this right now. Like, I am definitely in the pattern right now. I have an iPhone, and iPhone has something just called like an app called News, like Apple News or whatever. And it gets all the articles from New York Times, the Huffington Post, like all the like Calgary Sun. And it'll kind of put the most relevant stories in front of your face, and you can click
based on where you are, kind of thing.
Yeah. So it actually, I think the app works pretty badass, but I'm definitely in the habit or routine right now of I'm basically checking it almost every morning, reading different articles. Mm-hmm. And even if I go on Facebook or Instagram, again, your whole social media is just flooded with coronavirus stuff. And some of it is like, it's like what to believe or not, because like, I don't know where your head's at on all this, but it's definitely clear that, all the politicians and all the politicians and government and all the businesses, big and small, want to get the ball rolling on the economy again.
Of course.
And they all want to get the ball rolling on the economy, but again, is that what's best right now to rush that? And then you read articles of scientists and doctors saying like, don't rush it. We need it to be very controlled before we go back. But then, politicians and businesses are like, no, we need the ball rolling. Like we got to do this. And I'm seeing stuff on Facebook. I don't know if it's true or not, but like something that caught my eye this morning was like, I don't know if it's true or not though. It was about the Spanish flu, like in the 1918 or something, whenever the last pandemic was, where it was, it was a picture. And it said like everybody was, isolated or whatever once it kind of hit. And once it started to recuperate or whatever, everybody got back together really fast and was like, oh, awesome. And it was actually the second round was actually worse than the first one because everyone's like, it's over. And then, again, I haven't researched that though. It was just a stupid Facebook picture. But those little stupid Facebook pictures and Instagram articles and stuff are the ones that make your brain turn.
Yeah.
And I just haven't decided to delve into it more. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, that's something that I definitely like almost not look at anymore. I kind of went back into like just, let's say, more nutrition, more training. That's kind of like the stuff that I'm trying to consume, I guess, at this point. But morning drive, I got like a very short morning drive, and it's almost enough to get a good sense of what happened, even just locally, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I try and limit that, and I guess I spend more time with the kids playing. This morning, I was planning on heading into the gym like a little early, get a workout in, like I told you yesterday, right?
Yeah.
But Jace and Jalen and Jade were like all cuddling with me on the couch. I'm like, oh, I can't go. It's not gonna happen. They need this,
Yeah.
Saturday.
Where's your personal thought process? Is like, do you think the curve is flattening? Do you think the worst is yet to come still? Do you think it's ramping up? Do you think it's getting better?
I think the worst is still to come. I don't think we've peaked. I don't think it's almost hard to say. I don't think US has peaked. And last time I checked, I think there are like 700 plus confirmed.
I personally think the fact that everybody's ramped up testing is going to show the true story. Like, even if we thought the curve was flattening, it was only flattening because we were looking this much. And then when you open that up and look at everything, you're like, oh shit, it was worse than we thought. So I think because we're doing more testing and stuff, it's going to appear worse. Might even get worse, like I can't open up my Facebook without seeing this gas station had it, or this superstore, or this Costco, or this or that. And then it's like, well, how much damage did that one case do? How many people got affected? And you won't even necessarily know for a week or two, right?
And I don't think you would know just in general. Like, I think it's impossible to know, like, which ones came from that one.
Yeah.
Like who infected who.
Yeah.
Because it's everywhere. But I think the important part that, like, AJ and I talked about is, like, I was just at Costco Thursday night. We go just load up on fruits, vegetables, like good food. Obviously, I said I still eat ice cream. I love ice cream, whatever.
Okay, bro. No
right? No, people are judging me right now. I know it. But
Ben,
we've just right. We've been controlling what we can control. I guess we're trying to be in, let's say, the best shape and the healthiest that we can for the family, and instill those practices to the kids as well. Right? Like, they're not going crazy. Oh, it's just treats. Oh, we're at home. There's no school. No, they're very scheduled right now. School, meals, enough fun. Like, at night, like, they're done. Like, they're like, they played all day. They learned all day, and they had fun all day. Right?
100% though. Like, AJ is a freaking rock star with those kids. Like, she's mom goals to the max.
No kidding.
Hats off, for sure.
Yeah.
And I don't say that just because, if she baked me some sweet baked goods, like, I wouldn't say no, you know what I'm saying?
Is that you asking, bro? But yeah, no, it's she's, out of everyone that I've talked to or seen, like, she's handling it like a rock star for sure.
Yeah, Diane is very...
She's got time to exercise. Like, she's exercised, like, I think she worked out like 6 times this week.
Yeah.
Trained 6 times this week. She's baked treats for the kids and me. She's, like, cooked, like, everything that needed to be cooked. She's clean. Like, I come home, house is clean. Kids are well fed. Kids are tired. Kids are like their brains are nourished and their body is nourished.
Yeah. Anytime I see AJ on camera with you, she doesn't have a face of, like, burnout or, like, stress or anxiety. Like, you could almost say, if you just see her, it's almost like nothing's changed.
Yeah.
Maybe inside she has a little bit of stress.
Yeah.
But she's, like, obviously handling it very well.
Yeah. Yeah, we chatted about that, and she's like, yeah, it's the best I've felt in a while. Because, again, we came from a holiday too, right? Like 3 months ago. So
yeah,
she's definitely handling it very, very well.
On my end of things, Diane is like, I'm so, like, such a OCD structured, like, grounded person, and Diane's, like, so floaty, just go with the flow. So I think definitely I'm battling a little bit more stress than she is. She's kind of just like, oh yeah, like no, whatever. She's just so easygoing that it doesn't really bother her. So it helps me to have her around because I'll try to vibe off of that a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Even if I scroll through my news app right now, I can't even find anything that would be dumb to talk about that's not coronavirus. It's just everything is coronavirus.
It's all Corona.
It's all corona. Nothing.
Yep. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of any situation really, even if it's this bad, there's and again I'm talking from a perspective of someone who lives in Canada and has access to everything that we need. So I would say that we are blessed to be where we are.
Yeah.
With all the resources that we have around us. But there's a lot of, like, from my perspective, there's still a lot of good things that can be, not saying can be done, but it can come out of this, you know.
You know what was random? I'm just random and beautiful. Today, when I look outside, it's warmer. It's not snowing, but it's a cloudy day, right? Mm-hmm. Last night, Diana and I are talking about tonight going for a walk in the neighborhood with the dog, but like a real walk. Like we want to be out there for like an hour. Like we plan on bundling up nicely and taking Koba just like hour-long walk, just walking the streets. But we want to do it at nighttime when it's a little bit more dead on the streets, like 11 or midnight type thing, and just stay outside for a while together. Just fresh air, you know what I mean? Last night, though, it was actually clear enough that we could see some stars. And I don't think I've seen stars in like a year.
Right.
And it sounds so stupid, but the stars I was looking up at, it only looked like 10% of the stars in the sky. And I'm like, wow, like we were like, I was so amazed by it. And even Diana, we're like, wow, the stars are out. Wow, we haven't seen stars in so long. Like, look at the stars. And I'm like thinking like that whole sky is probably just peppered with so many stars, but I can only count like 7.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's depends on where you live too, which area. Like obviously if you live in a darker area or you have like a few darker spots, like it
and then we were like
highlights it a little bit more.
We wish we could leave the city and go somewhere to actually look at the stars, but then at the same time we don't think that's a good idea right now to get out too much. Like we're still trying to play by the rules of just staying home. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
which I think is good. Again, that I don't know if that's the best thing. I heard news that said like people who are healthy and are not like a high risk should just go out and maybe actually contract it, fight it, and build like the immunity to it.
So we're going to run out of time here. We're pushing our time, but to that point,
that's something we can carry over later. Yeah.
To that point, I have 2 things to say to that exact statement. One, there was a news article that said like, to conquer COVID-19, more people need to get out and get sick. This is how governments are going to decide who to be put in the line of fire. There's a whole article on that. But I also read another article that said just because you contract coronavirus does not give you any immunities or antibodies to it.
No way.
Like you can get it, like just because you get it and you recover from it, you can get it again and the second round can be just as bad. So again, there's so much information out there. What do you believe?
Yeah. And to that note, again, control what you can control, I guess, right? Like your own nutrition, your sleep, your stress management. And
then there's also information too that was like a lot of people didn't even present symptoms. So me and you could have had it already and we didn't even know. We just kept on business as usual. You're like, oh, I have a headache today. I don't feel good. Or
boom.
Yeah, Ben and Jerry took care of it, right?
Ben and Jerry's. All right, man. We can wrap this up. First Coach's Lounge.
Performance.
I was going to say COVID Lounge. I'm like, oh, wow. All right. Okay.
E2 Performance. If you guys like this,
Performance.
If you like our content, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Leave us a review on iTunes would be lovely. And if you guys have anything that you want us to talk about, message us. Probably the best place to hit us up is on either our personal Instagram or the E2Perform Instagram. But yeah,
we would love to connect with you guys.
Yeah, 100%.
Especially during this time.
So we'll put an end to this bad boy. We'll catch you guys later.
Thanks for listening.